Developed by US Army Special Forces, used by the Navy SEALs, SOCOM, M25 Sniper Rifle is here. For the M25 story, we have to time travel to around the mid-80s when the US Army Special Forces realized that they want to improve M21. But first, let's see what this puppy can do at our range. Over 100 degrees fun around in the chamber. Let's see what we can do. We got a slight breeze coming down the field. It cools me off a little bit, but I'm sweating like a duck. Let's see. So watch out for the camera. Alright. Nice hit. Ulla, let's go to the 350 yards. I'm using holdovers only, no dialing. This was the idea with M25, so you can engage those targets with that mil-dot scope easily.
It's ready.
Okay. Okay, too easy. I gotta watch out for that trigger cam because it spaces out away from the scope and it's not really comfortable, but I'm trying to give you guys the best view in the house, and you got the scope view, so hopefully you're enjoying it. Okay, Ulla, 400 yards. Small target, small target.
Okay, it's ready.
All right. Boom, too easy. We'll go for 450, okay?
Yep.
That will be 1 mil holdover.
Ready.
All right. Nothing but the sound of the steel. 500 yards small target, Ulla. 500 yards small target. These are really tiny targets. That's 1/3.
It's ready.
Okay. Beautiful hit, right in the center of that plate. Okay, 550. We got that breeze coming and going. I don't know if you guys probably cannot see it, but I can feel it. Just gotta watch out for that. Other than this, the rifle shoots very well, as you can see. It's a really great setup. I think that was a huge progress.
Okay, let's go.
Especially optic-wise. All right, 550. I'll put a little more on the left because of that wind. Boom, and you see I got moved a little bit to the right, and I knew it because I can see that breeze down the field. Ulla, 600 yards, and I will try to go. Can we set up camera for that little target?
Okay. It's ready.
All right, let me get a good. I'll hold more on the left for it. Beautiful hit on the plate. So you see my holdover in the scope, how much I had to compensate for that breeze, and you cannot ignore it with 308. Ulla, 650. So there's no joking around. 3.2 mils holdover for a 650 with the way how I zeroed. That's for me. Now push it more to the left now.
Ready?
Wind is picking up. Look. And I got him on the right shoulder, but you see how much we drifted from the holdover. 700, Ula will go for the full-size plate, okay?
Okay.
700.
Let's go.
Alright, just gotta watch out for that wind now. Boom. On the left side, let me do one more shot, Ula, okay? I put 2 shots in the same spot basically. Let me see if we can put third. We'll have a group. Alright, I'll push it more. And that's a beautiful group.
Hey, if you feel so cocky, go for the little one.
Alright, let's see if we can spank the little one.
Ready?
Alright. Boom. There you go.
Good shot.
700 yards, the little target, and that in the center. So I was not joking. So there you go, guys. Absolutely jaw-dropping performance from this rifle. I will guess that this group looks around half MOA. I did not check yet. You will see the rating for the group displayed in the pictures and everything, but you can also see what I did when I corrected myself and punished that target, which is at 710 yards, the smaller one. And you could be extremely accurate with those rifles. But how they even become to exist? For the record, to my best knowledge, the M25 does not have the official NSN number, so the NSN number was never used. But the US Army Special Forces groups, ODAs, were asking for the improvements for the M21. What was wrong with M21? M21 was aging, guys. And this is a painted stock on my M21, but it was still wood stock, and as basically ironed out in that memo from the Special Forces groups. They said that that wood always attracts the moisture. Painting helps a little bit. That's where the stocks, some stocks were painted, but that wood always attracts the moistures, warps, and the accuracy is being affected. But the biggest complaint was about the Art2 scopes. Redfield and the Leatherwood marriage at that time was becoming shaky. The Redfield company, which was making the scopes, those 3 to 9x scopes, did not capitalize on a success in the 60s and was mismanaged a little bit. And what was happening in the 70s and 80s, the company was fading away. And then finally, if my memory serves well, the Redfield was sold to Leopold. And that brings me to the M25. And the M25, one of the scopes used on the M25 was the Leopold. This is the early Mark IV 10 power fixed scope with the BDC turrets and mil dot reticle, M3 mil dot reticle. Very good scope, and as you can see, this scope can deliver. The whole idea with the mil dot system was to speed up to basically a drop requirement for the BDC, because as a sniper you can memorize your holdovers, and that's what I did. I executed the holdovers on that range. Of course, there was no grid at that time in the reticle, and when you got the wind, you gotta create imaginary points where you're going to hold with the wind, right? For the wind, with that scope, if you're using a dots and going down the tree. The way how I got this set up, I'm dialed for 300 yards. 350 yards, I'm sorry, for 350 yards. That's how I set up of this system, and to fit my best needs for the range up to 700 yards. But you could dial in completely and use all the, we call that pour men orus, and you can use all the mil dots on the reticle which are above center line and keep going down with the distance. So that trick was used and is used in some cases to this day. But going back to the M25, because I kind of wiggled myself out of the main subject. So what was happening with the M21, it was hard to get the spare parts. It was hard to keep those rifles up to the standard. So the idea was born for the improved M21, which designated was under the name M25 XM25 M25 in the end. So as you can see, this rifle sports basically a Macmillan stock. This is a synthetic stock which was then fiberglassed into the action, and we do have a Brookfield mount, which is again departure from the Art 2 scope setups, and you starting to see a little bit of the Picatinny rail on the top, and the Badger ordnance rings or Leopold rings, because even the Badger was used later too by some operators, some groups, but Leopold rings for the Leopold scope in this scenario. And the rifle was fine-tuned to there was of course job done, welded unified cylinder. Barrels were from either Krieger or Douglas, so very good barrels. This one has the Krieger barrel, and you can see the results. The rifle can and will shoot. If some mistakes were made at the range, I slightly either overcompensated for the wind, and you can see how that wind was changing. But if you will nail in and you got that window and you got the wind work out, my God, this was a hammer. And this rifle proved to be extremely effective. The rifle served through the 90s up to the early 2000s, guys. And this was kind of interesting because, as you know, in the very late 80s, the M24 started trickling down the food chain, and the M24 has become the primary rifle, sniper rifle for the US Army. But the guys from the Special Forces, they always respected the semi-auto, and as you can see, you can use this rifle much more. It is like a multi-tool, right? It gives you a better option of even defending yourself if that situation would arise. And one of the biggest advantages again was that you can very easily attach the suppressor to the M25, where the early M24s, guys, they were just the barrel. And just like the Marines with M40 A1 and A3, there was no option to have the suppressor until like M40 A5 or M24 updated version. Then the barrel was threaded and there was an option for the suppressor. But the M25 was offering you to have that suppressor option at basically, you could easily attach it without anything specific. Now, what the big advantage is with the semi-auto too is you can keep cycling through the targets fairly quickly if you are pressed to do so. And you have to remember that the snipers from the special forces, they're always working under the different conditions than the conventional forces. So they like to have that option. They like to have that option of semi-auto fire. And it wasn't until, like, if my memory serves well, again, 2005, 2006, when the M110 started trickling down the system. And even then, the first M110s, there was a lot of problems and issues which had to be ironed out down the range. And that's what was happening for basically a year and a half, up to 2 years. The improvements were being done. So M25 served in the first Gulf War and even in Afghanistan as well. There were some instances when the rifle was used in Africa, so it has a really nice combat history, if you would like to say that. And the people who I spoke with and who had the chance to use the M25s, they were extremely happy with it, and nothing but the praise about those rifles. But that's it for now. I don't want to take any more time from you guys. You can see what the rifle offers, what the rifle can do down the range. And if you screw up, it's on you. If you have this type of the hardware, this hardware can shoot. As always, it was a pleasure to be a guest in your homes, guys. Big thanks to our Patreons. The Patreon of the week is right here, right here. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Bye.